Charlottesville High School student Ziana Bryant started a Change.org petition to get the Charlottesville City Council to rename Lee Park and take down its Robert E. Lee statue. Last month, Vice Mayor Wes Bellamy of Charlottesville spoke in favor of removing the statue, stating every day that this statue is visible and prominent in the city, the heart of the city, that we are honoring slavery. We are validating and romanticizing racism, violence, and terrorism, the ideology of white supremacy. The vice mayor continued, saying, "The removal of this trash is just the beginning in a conversation that we must have about race and discrimination." Bellamy and the proposal were met with much opposition, and a Facebook page has been established in defense of the statue. The Charlottesville City Council will meet on Monday, April 18th, to discuss the proposal, but your trusty reporter, Rob Shimshock, spoke with several students to hear their opinion on the issue.
Do you think that this would constitute a form of historical censorship if they did this?
I think it really depends on the context of the statue. I think it would help maybe if they had a plaque or something acknowledging that maybe the cause he was fighting for isn't something that we appreciate, but it is a part of history that we shouldn't forget about, because I think it's kind of wrong to take things down because that did happen and it's an important part of the history of the United States, and if we just forget about that, then we can't learn from it.
I don't think it's a form of historical censorship. I think that as long as citizens have a role in deciding whether or not the statue stays or goes, it's not censorship.
Do you think that statues in general, you often hear the words celebrate or glorify, romanticize as to their purpose? Do you think that that is the case, or that more so statues just preserve the most important parts of history?
I'd have to say yes. Even when a statue depicts something horrific, and it's meant to just remind us of a time in history, a statue just in the creation of it is a large piece of stone, and it takes a painstaking amount of time and detail and artistry to create a statue, and it becomes more of a piece of art.
Now, Martha, you went to a high school named after Robert E. Lee, didn't you? Do you think you could maybe speak to that and perhaps how that influences your opinion on it?
So I did go to Robert E. Lee High School, and there's definitely been constant controversy over whether the name of the high school should be changed or not. And nothing has ever actually been done about it because we're so called Robert E. Lee. But
I think a museum maybe would be a better place for it if people think that it's controversial because in museums people are going to see specific things.
Does it make any difference to you that Robert E. Lee actually denounced the institution of slavery as evil?
No, I don't think it does. I mean, I think if you look at the history books, yes, he may have denounced slavery, but at the same time he fought for a cause that, was in support of slavery. And
I kind of don't believe that's really a qualifying factor for him, because he still owned slaves. He owned people. It doesn't matter what his views on slavery was. If he did own the slaves, he obviously didn't think it was that bad.
Now that Robert E. Lee has become such a polarizing and incendiary figure around Charlottesville, at least, do you think that there'd be any danger of Thomas Jefferson, our own founder, becoming equally as polarizing one day? Because Thomas Jefferson did own slaves, and he did believe that blacks were less rational, less beautiful, and that they had an inferior capacity for love than whites. So do you think that perhaps maybe one day students would try to adopt a new founder or something of the sort?
Should we accept a full view of a human being who did do things that were historically progressive from one standpoint versus another? I don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions. And as far as adopting a new founder, I think it kind of belittles people's intelligence to say that they couldn't just look at a name and a figure and recognize the bad parts of that person and not endorse them.
The contributions that Thomas Jefferson had to the University of Virginia go way beyond slavery, but that'll be a debate in the future for sure.
This has been Rob Shimshock reporting for WUVA Media.